Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be making a ring out of this Dragon Skin Timascus or Damtanium, depending on what you like to call it. This was sent to us by Vegas Forge. It's a really unique piece with an amazing pattern. I'm going to use the lathe for most of this with an expanding ring mandrel. And then what's really kind of unique is this rounding tool I've got here. This will give it a domed profile. So this should make for a really cool looking ring. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, first we need to cut off a piece we can actually work with. So I'm gonna throw this in my vise and use my angle grinder to just hack out a chunk. Now I'll go ahead and use the belt sander to round this out, that way it'll fit into the lathe. And then quickly, I'll just use this drill bit to start a hole through the center of the blank. That gets things going for me so that I can switch over to my boring bar, and that'll allow me to precisely adjust the inside diameter of this. I'm gonna stop just a millimeter or two before my final ring size. Now I'll just quickly trim down the outer diameter, even it out, make it look nice, and then we'll switch over to the rounding mechanism. All right, we're ready to go ahead and give it that rounded profile. This tool is actually really clever. I love using it. It's just a little bit tricky to get set up. But as you can see, as I move the bar from left to right, it creates a curved profile in the ring. And depending on how I adjust the bit, I can adjust the radius of the curve and a couple other parameters. So it's actually a really interesting tool. All right, I've got the outer profile cut and it's looking great. However, you'll notice it's got kind of this dimpled surface to it. And the reason for that is because there's two different titanium alloys here. And so one of them is going to be harder than the other. They're just gonna have different properties. So when you're cutting it, if you're not careful, and I didn't do a super good job at it, if you're not doing that perfectly, you're going to end up with some dimpling like I've got here. So to get rid of that, I'm just going to do some really careful sanding and I should be able to completely eliminate that. Now I'll use sandpaper to clean this thing up, get it looking nice and smooth. That'll get it ready to flame anodize. Now for heat anodizing, the first and most important step is to wash this off thoroughly. I like to use acetone because it's a really good degreaser. I want to get rid of any grease, any oil, anything like that. I don't want any fingerprints. I want this to be perfectly clean. Now I'll use my blowtorch to heat this as evenly as I can to give it a really nice consistent color tone. Now as you keep heating it up, the Timascus actually goes through a lot of really cool color changes. My favorite color range for Timascus is that golden, purpley bronze color mixed with a little bit of blue from the different alloy. That's my favorite, and the big reason for that is because it's actually the most vibrant color that you're going to get out of it. All right, and there you have it. This thing is finished, and I just think it looks so sick. I love that dragon skin texture. It just really makes it come alive. And I like the rounded profile. I think it really matches the pattern well. Anyways, guys, that's it for this ring. As we do with a lot of our rings, we're going to have this available for sale on the website. We'll have a link to that down in the description below. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can. There's a link to that. I do giveaways, discount codes, and just a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.